Nice back and forth. We beat the Knicks. That's about as good of a game as it gets without Paolo.
Pat be hate watching. He
Yeah,
hate watch our teams. You know what I'm saying?
I realized it in the moment. I was like, I
When,
should
when
be
you
hating on
when you
that.
hate watch that much, though, you secretly love.
I ain't gonna lie. I got a confession. Bro.
Mhm.
I used to be a sort of a Magic fan in the early '90s when Shaq
Where
was
you
playing
are
for
you?
y'all.
Where are you from? You from here?
Yeah, you from here.
Polk County. Yes, sir.
That's why. That's why he tried to turn away, and it's still deep inside of him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood podcast with your boy C.L. Anthony, my main man Bryce Ward, and the two best co-hosts in the world, Chef Pat and Michael Friends. What's going on, fellas?
What's good? What's good?
Glad to
Top
be
usual.
here.
Here.
As always, we got some shit to get into. Um, since the last time we recorded, there was a little shakeup in the Dallas front office. So, quick answers only. What are your thoughts on Nico Harrison being fired by the Dallas Mavericks? Mike, I'm going to throw it to you first, then Bryce, then Pat.
So I actually saw something that was talking about Nico Harrison actually being a scapegoat
Mm.
and a lot of it being a setup. Like I'll have to send you the breakdown someone did, but of course it was online. You can't necessarily believe everything you see online, but it was talking about how it was a setup for Nike. I mean, it was what 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember all the details, but it was kind of like tying in everything. I'll send you that info, but it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird situation when you look at it with a microscope. Like Luca gets traded, all these moves that are made, this, that, and the other, and it's almost like, what the hell is even going on? You know what I mean? Like you gave up your whole future in one individual, and then all of a sudden you win the draft with with the number one pick, and you had what was it, a 1.8% chance or a 0.8% chance to get the number one pick, and you got it. I don't know, when it smells like when it looks like a rat, smells like a rat, it's probably a rat. Well, guess what? There's probably something going on. I don't know. I mean, you can't necessarily even overlook a lot of things. Like at least to think, is it a possibility that some shady shit was going on? Because I mean, look at what's going on in the NBA these days. You know what I mean? Like there's controversy left and right with certain situations. So I don't know. I can't make too much of it. It's already been almost swept under the rug for the most part. Nobody really even cares anymore. Like nobody's even talking about it. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a weird situation all around.
Bryce.
Well, taking the situation at face value, if it, aside from the conspiracy side of things, they're looking into what else could be going on face value. I thought Nico Harrison should have been fired the day after the trade. So this was long overdue in my eyes, and I felt like it was going to be his road, regardless of how long it took once he traded Luka, because to gamble like he did, you got to see results, and you have to see results pretty quickly. And the results were pretty much what everybody else was saying. Why would you trade for a guy who's older and constantly having injury issues? If Anthony Davis was playing all the time, maybe you could wrap your mind around that trade. But realistically, no. This should have happened. The trade should never even have happened because Nico Harrison shouldn't have been in that position because apparently he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Because if you trade Luka, you don't know what the hell you're doing. So this should have happened way sooner. The fact that it even happened at all, I think, is wild to me. So yeah, this guy dug his own grave the moment he agreed to trade Luka and the moment he traded Luka the way he did. I think everybody thought he was silly and should have been fired. And this is just But even if he's the scapegoat, then he should have been smart enough to say, "I'm not going to be the guy to trade Luka. You guys can go out there and announce that shit because I'm not going to do it." That's
a
my
smart
take.
play. Yeah, that's a real smart play. All right, so to the beneficiary of Luka, Pat, what do you think?
When the news first broke about him being fired, it sent shockwaves through the NBA megaverse. But my first thoughts were, because you heard all the opinions of people, what they thought about it. But my first thoughts was he was a scapegoat, and I say that because like somebody, his boss, the owners had to approve that. You have a superstar talent in Luca, and you traded him for an injury-prone Anthony Davis. That's ridiculous. There is no way. I think I said this to you in the group chat. There is no way Mitch Kupchak would have traded Kobe for fucking, I don't know, Horace Grant or what the fuck, like
Bo Outlaw.
in his prime, in his Bo Outlaw in his prime, bro. That is ridiculous, bro. So no way Jeannie Buss would have allowed that. Nothing, you know. So the buck stops with the owner, and if if that was my team, if I was the owner, ain't no fucking way Luka would be playing for the Lakers right now. So the owner, they're sucking right now. Okay, they're 5-13. It's a lot of frustration there. They don't know what to do with their rookie point guard / forward.
Yeah, is he a point guard? Shit.
Right. They don't know what to do with him. They're losing games. It's a lot of frustration going around. Somebody had to take the blame. And Nico Harrison, because whatever his name, had to take the blame because, the Lakers are 11-4. You feel me? And they're 5-13. And shit sucks for them. So here we are. This is where we are, and somebody got to lose their job. And it was Nico this time. And, Nico going to find another job, even though that was a dumb decision on his part.
He ain't finding no job.
The Lakers got Luka, and Pat started podcasting in a recliner, like king. He hasn't looked back.
This is my throne, sir.
With me, it's always the story behind the story. So, like, I remember, Pat, you had texted me a week before it happened, and you were like, "Did Nico get fired?" And I said, "No, not yet."
It was rumors bubbling a week before.
It was.
That's right.
It was, and only because what it was, and I'll make it short because I know we got to move on. It was a power struggle between Nico and Mark Cuban. That's pretty much what it was. So Mark Cuban got his other minority owners together, went to the main guy, was like, "Hey, one, we didn't know about the trade. Two, it was a dumbass trade. We need to move Nico out of there because that's what it was. That's pretty much what it was." And so the owner finally gave in. So now Cuban, who thought he was going to have a voice in the front office when he sold the team, now has that voice. Now that Nico's gone. Okay, so that's pretty much what it was. So the owner's an idiot. Oh, go ahead.
I said, thank you, Nico.
Oh, yeah, you're good on it. You're good. Speaking of Anthony Davis, speaking of a few other players that have some soft tissue issues right now, pace has been a topic of subject in the NBA right now. As far as the game's moving faster than it ever has, and we have a lot of players out right now with soft tissue injuries. Bryce, we kind of touched on this a little bit last season, saying we didn't know what was going on when we had 4 Achilles tears. Based on what we're seeing now, do you think this is a trend that's going to keep happening, or do you think the league can kind of try to not slow things down because they don't want a slow game, but have better health officials to make sure these players are okay for a duration of the season?
I don't know how quickly the league or people in charge can get ahead of this thing. This is something that could take maybe years or even like a decade or so. It's really going to take people realizing this on their own and then starting at a young age thinking about the long-term effects of what's going on. Because if they're not going to either cut games off or I don't understand why they can't spread out the season more. Because I don't hear that talked about as much. Can you guys let me know after I'm done, like why that's not an option? If shortening the season seems like such a stretch for people because they're giving up revenue for the lack of games, then why can't to eliminate back to backs? To eliminate the rush to the quick turnaround from game to game, why can't they just stretch the season out? But besides that, me and Cam, we've talked years about the load that they start on you from a young age with AAU or travel ball, and I believe that combined with the once you do get in the league, the style of play is kind of like just nonstop on your legs from the time that you're a little kid. And with the way the schedule is condensed, I feel like it's just like a perfect storm. And this kind of generation of ball player is experiencing it for the first time. So I think naturally we'll see a curve back the other way from just like people being more educated in the systems and what's going on. So maybe it corrects itself a little bit on its own. But I think it's all going to take a long time for anything that the league decides to do. It just seems like systems like that take a long time to build or get behind. I don't really know what they can do outside of adjusting some of the scheduling and adjusting some of the way that these kids play AAU ball. So I don't know if there's one right answer. I just know either that or the pace, the style of play, the amount of minutes these guys play. Some of that's just going to have to be adjusted, or we're going to see. I mean, the list of injuries is like a mile long right now, and I don't know if it's going to get any better. So I don't know what the right answer is.
I'm going to throw it to you next, Mike. But before that, they augmented the schedule. God, I can't remember the year, but it was within the last 10 years where they eliminated a lot of back-to-backs for everyone. So they already done that as far as stretching it out a little more. Mike, what are your thoughts on
it? My thoughts, two different ones. As far as my feelings towards like what Bryce is asking, why? I tend to feel like when you're looking at the sports throughout the whole year, there's certain ones that work together, and then there's certain timings for other ones as well. And I believe that, I mean, just from what I see on a money perspective, if you extend the season for, let's say, the NBA specifically, right, and then ends, let's say, a month later, so you get an extra 30 days to span games around. Now you're cutting into revenue based on baseball, because that's baseball's heavy season portion right there. So in that case, you're overlapping into a different sport in a way, taking viewership away from that. So because baseball plays completely in the summer, it's the only one that goes throughout the summer. Then you have football that comes in that ties in with basketball after. So I believe that there's a viewership process there. So just my idea as far as a reason for Bryce, but as far as the injuries go, we did talk about this because we were talking about how, like, what I was thinking is the as fast as the game is being played, that's why we're seeing the Achilles injuries, right? Which is crazy to kind of see come to fruition somewhat, because the most recent name that has gone out that's going to be out for the next few weeks with a lower calf strain is Victor Wembanyama, right? So when they say lower calf strains now, in my mind, immediately, Achilles. His Achilles is ready to pop. So they need to sit him down and let him take his time. So these injuries are going to continue mounting up. But it's the adjustments of the game. It's the adjustments that they can't slow it down. When you're sitting here with a statistic that says there was this is the highest rated watched NBA season so far in the past 15 years so far. And that's with having the game spread out over paid different services like Prime and Peacock and whatnot now. So, viewership is completely up. So They don't want to change. They don't want to slow the pace. But what you do is you load management now, right? You load management time, and you keep these guys out for the back-to-backs. I've seen it multiple times now. Even when I'm seeing it specifically, like with the fantasy team, right? I've had Zion sit out multiple times because of back-to-backs. That just happened this past weekend. So, and he's got a hamstring issue.
The entire Warriors starting lineup pretty much sat, I think, against the Heat the other night, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I didn't have Steph Curry playing that night. But, I think that's all that they can do is really just load management and watch these injuries very closely like Victor's, right? So even as a lower calf strain, if it's not an Achilles, they just need to be careful with that because that's the commonality between all of them. So I think they're in the discovery phase still, which could last, the next season or two as the game gets faster, but they can't slow it down. Otherwise, they're going to risk possible viewership if it gets boring again.
Pat?
I listen to a lot of former athletes talk about what they think about what's going on with them. Today's athletes are more explosive in the game, and that requires you to be in a certain amount of shape, like your muscle development and what it takes to have that explosiveness. Their theory on it is that the way these guys work out, they don't really develop the muscles required to be that explosive relative to how athletes were in the past and how they worked out in the past. They're fast. They have to be faster. The way they attack the rim, the way they come out picks, or whatever they do within the actual game requires their body to have. It puts more tension on their body, and the former athletes, don't believe the way they work out is helpful with them to have longevity in the league. So it makes sense to me that if you're the way, because they can talk about it in more detail. They know like the intricacies of their workouts and how they stretch and what they do over the summer. And as I'm listening to them, it makes a lot of sense. If you're not used to doing, if your muscles or your body's not can't take that stress over time, then it's eventually it's gonna wear down and break down. And with these injuries being so much more common, it makes a lot more sense to me. It was theories about shoes being a problem and the amount of games being the problem, but I think their theory makes more sense out of all of them, especially because if you remember how past athletes were, they were fucking cokeheads and drunkards, and they played damn near 82 games every season. Some of the top stars, and you didn't see these types of injuries. Medically, they weren't advanced, and they just they might not have been as explosive, but it's still the same game. So I trust their opinions more than people like myself just speculating on what's going on. They know the ins and outs about what's going on, and I really think that their theory about how they work out and muscle development and all of these things play a major role in why we're seeing more frequent injuries like this.
I want to add something. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Can I step in real quick? I was speaking to the point of back in the 80s and whatnot, when we're talking about, how you were just saying, Pat, these guys were on coke, this, that, and the other, what I'm saying? Like unhealthy, right? Like I get that. But then when you look at those games compared to today's games, look at the amount of possessions. Those amount of possessions add up to how fast the game is going. Those possessions have increased immensely. So those guys definitely probably know more when it comes to the weight room and whatnot, but the game is no question being ran at a faster pace these days. So those guys that are back in the day, they might have a little bit of more of an excuse to be more healthy, even though they may not have been, only because the game was a lot slower in general. So when you look at those time of possessions and how many possessions go through the game, that adds up.
I want to say, you want to respond to that, Pat?
Yes, the
Okay.
game has more possessions now because they take more threes. It's a lot of get the rebound, come down, and gas threes. They're not sprinting from bucket to bucket. So you have to like put it all in context. The game was high pace in the 80s as well, when you had teams like Denver scoring 139, 140 points a night. You had Showtime Lakers. So if you look at it from that point of view of number of possessions, yes, but you have to break it down and look at it in context, in like the actual game, and say, oh, okay, this is why there's more possessions, because they crossed half court in gas and threes with 20 seconds left on the clock. That's my opinion on that.
I think it's like a combo where it's like it's the shape the players are in, along with the style of play. It's like the way they used to handle themselves. You physically couldn't play the way that we play now with those bodies. They've been gassed. It just wouldn't last. I almost think that maybe go back to what Pat said. Where these guys aren't having the right workouts. I almost wonder if, like, maybe say, like, in football, the type of workouts they have, because they drill quick bursts of speed, things
Right.
like that. Like, I almost wonder if they need to, like, consult with some of that, with some of their coaches and some of their drills to simulate the style of play that these players are going for now, and maybe that could help with some of it. If some of these older heads are saying these younger guys are preparing for something that they're not actually playing on the court, and they're training for something different, then they obviously should start training for the things that they're going to experience in game. And then some of that might help. They might draw inspiration from like other sports like football, where you
Football.
have to be just like you go from a stop to a sudden burst in seconds. So that might be a good something that the league can look into.
I like all the answers there. And just to piggyback on, what Bryce, piggyback on what all you guys said, I think a possible solution is like in the off season. As Pat said, we know that certain players had certain vices back in the day. I'm pretty sure they rarely picked up a basketball during the off season. Where now the players are so busy doing things in the off season, doing tournaments here and there, playing overseas or whatnot. I just think they need to shut it down for the off season, just shut their bodies down completely. That may start a trend of helping what's going on right now. Before all the other data comes in. What do you think about that, Pat?
I think that eventually that may be a part of it. Your body does need to rest and recover. So I think they'll add all of these things in. They'll take in all the information, and eventually down the line, they'll come to that conclusion that will be taking rest during the off season may be something that will benefit them in the long run. I agree with that.
Yeah. So we're gonna move along here, Mike. We're gonna do something a little different today. So we're gonna go in order by record right now. So Mike's gonna take the lead really quick. Your Detroit Pistons. I told you last season I think the Heat played the Pistons like twice in the first week, and I was like, Pistons are gonna be pretty good. Now they're looking damn good. So Mike, your team's leading the East. They're number 2 overall in the NBA right now. What the fuck is going on in Detroit?
Well, you could say there's something in the water, I guess, because this isn't.
They ain't cleaned that water yet.
Oh no, that
shit dirty as hell.
That's Flint. That's Flint water. When you drink Detroit water, you can drink it right out the faucet. I promise you.
Hey Cam, zoom out so you can see where the Magic are in the standings. You can't see the Magic here.
We'll get there. He's so excited about my team. He can't wait.
Go ahead, Mike.
So I love the 14-2. I love the 12-game win streak, but earlier this year, I've already seen this play, and I'm not really excited. I'm excited to see it, but I'm not excited to where it's going to go. And what I'm saying is, if you look back at the baseball season, the Detroit Tigers were the best team in all of baseball, all the way up until August.
There they are.
All the way up until August. So, I mean, we were 17 games above 500. 17 games above the next team in the AL Central. And then in October, we lost that and barely got into the playoffs with a wild card playoff win. So, I mean, cool. I'm glad to see 14-2. I'm glad to see we're at the top of the East, but I'm not getting too excited right now, only because of, like I said, the history can repeat itself, and it was in Detroit just a few months ago. But they are looking good on the court, period. The combination of Cade and Duran is looking great. What's this kid? This Dennis. I forgot his last names. He's a new cat to the squad. He's actually picking up, looking like a great role player. Jaden Ivey's back. Isaiah Stewart is good, and it's funny because I'm sitting here looking at like what the possible moves that they need to make a complete team, and I'm seeing a lot of people are just literally saying, "Hey, trade the farm for Lauri Markkanen. Get Lauri Markkanen because it'll be one of the better front courts between Markkanen and Duran in the whole NBA, and then you've got an MVP candidate in Cade Cunningham." So I don't know. They're deep. JD Bickerstaff has them looking pretty damn good. I'm good with it, and I'll just see the rest of the way that this kind of plays out throughout the season.
Got it. Pat, what do you think about the Pistons?
Oh, okay. They remind. First off, fuck the Pistons. Let me start off with that. Second of all, you can't dispute the numbers. Their record speaks for itself.
Yes.
Ben Wallace hurt you back in the day. You can tell.
Hey, we ended his four-peat in the early 2000s, so I can expect all this. It's all good.
Oh, shit.
Man.
I remember we shut the hell out of Kobe down, and we let Shaq go to work, and we still beat them 4-1.
Oh, boy.
It's all good.
Yeah, we won three more since then. That's crazy. I'm not totally sold on these guys. The schedule was quite lean. They haven't really beaten anybody. Who have you seen them? What team have they played that impressed you so far? Did they beat like OKC? Have they beaten the Rockets, the Spurs? Have they beaten the Lakers? They're beating up on these trash ass East teams. They might be like, what's the mark? What do you call it? The margin of victory here. Like, I think blowing these teams out. Like you got the Raptors in second place. The East is. I'm not sold. They remind me of the Cavaliers of the Eastern Conference last year. So we'll see. I had to swallow a little crow. I didn't think they would be this good, only losing 2 games, but I don't know, bro. We'll see.
I really would like to see a Pistons Cavs series, what with their coaching on Detroit and just the style of play. I'd like to see that series.
The only player I really believe in is Cade. He's consistent.
Duran's taking a nice little step. He's a tough player.
Yeah. You think he'll be an all-star this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 plus points, 20 plus rebounds will get you, and it will get you.
That's what he averages?
No, it's happened multiple times this year, though.
What's his average right now?
I think his average is it's just 20 plus with a 12 rebound average.
That's pretty good.
20 and 12.
He's averaging a double.
Yeah.
And he's efficient, and he's good from the line too. Like his season, that man is He's going to be good in the system. I said it before. I'll say it again. That's my guy.
What's my boy? Damn, I forgot his name. My center, my starting center. What's his name?
Jackson?
No, the starter. Just got him from Portland.
Oh, Aiden.
Yeah, it sounds like DeAndre Ayton numbers right now.
Hell no. Don't ever do that.
I will. It hurts my soul. I gotta give the Lakers their flowers for the good start and the good start without Luka for some games and your little white boy Austin over there.
Hey, we're not talking about the Lakers now. We're talking about the Pistons, guys.
We're about to pivot to this.
I thought we transitioned.
Oddly enough, Bryce, you said that you'd like to see a Pistons Cavs matchup. That was their last loss. It was Game 4 of the year.
Wait, the Pistons lost to the Cavs?
Yeah, 116-95.
I don't remember that game.
Ooh,
that was Game 4. That was Game 4 of the year.
Got it. Okay.
We haven't lost since.
So
that's my point.
Chef Pat.
Yes, sir.
Your Lakers are currently 11-4.
Are we now?
Yes, sir.
According to B. Rice preseason, we will be at the bottom of the pack.
It's nice to see that I can motivate you guys to have a decent season. I'm glad I could motivate.
That shit hurts your heart, don't it? Don't stop lying. That shit.
Oh, it does. It does. I have a deep hatred for the Lakers. I have a deep hate. I score watch the same way you watch. I can't stay up to hate watch because it's too late for me. But I love to wake up and see the losses when they do happen so far.
I've never watched so many Magic games in my life. Okay. I hate this.
Love it.
Thank you for your motivation, sir.
That's right.
Okay. Anyway, you want to talk about the Lakers, Cam? I love talking about the Lakers. Let's talk about the Lakers. Okay. What are your questions, sir? You want to talk about their success?
What's impressed you so far with their 11-4 start?
The way we're able to win games without our stars, our two big stars. LeBron only played one game this season, and what a comeback. The return of the king. Did you see it, Cam?
No.
I know you were hating from afar. I know it hurt you to see. The king returned in his golden shoes and damn near dropped a trippy double. He had a double-double. I think he had like 11 points, 10 rebounds, something like that. Major highlights. I'm talking about no-look passes. It was amazing. The guys, I've always been a LeBron hater. But these last 2 years, I've appreciated how great this man is. Even the separation between him and Luka. Luka is very talented. But LeBron is another level. I see how Luka plays with the guys that are on the team and how LeBron came and played with them. It looks way different, bro. And it looks way easier for LeBron to get other guys involved. So y'all in trouble, bro. The king is back. Okay, I've never called him the king in my life. You feel me? This is where I am now with this guy. We have three genuine number one players on our team, and I know y'all don't like that, but it is what it is. Okay, we coming for y'all, bro. We are on a roll here, and y'all better be ready for what's coming. Winter is coming.
I will say this is the first time I've been excited to see how the Lakers might actually play against Denver or OKC, because in the last few years, or say Minnesota, you guys haven't really been able to keep up with those top tier West teams. You've always been a tier or two below the last few seasons. So I'm actually excited to see once the playoffs roll around, or just a couple games throughout the season, how you guys handle the other elite teams in the West. So I'd like to see how you guys do against good competition.
In the past, we have not lived up to expectations or played at a level that is respectful with these teams you mentioned. But this year is a new year. Today's price is not yesterday's price, sir. We own y'all ass. Okay? Yeah, Bryce. Lakers, boy, you was talking all that shit. Yeah. Lakers.
Mhm. That's
Mike,
that setback from Brown Turkey last season. It's okay.
Mike, you've been missing some good shit in the group chat. You might want to get back in there. You've been missing some good shit, bro.
What is
So
technical about my team? Because I'm very passionate. You know?
I'm not gonna.
We on y'all ass this year, boy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's good for the league when the Lakers are good. I'll admit that.
Yes. I'm not gonna go deep into my team because I don't want to be seen as a homer.
No, he don't want to jinx them is what he don't want to do.
I'm
You can't be
still
superstitious as hell, bro.
I'm still shocked every game. I'm just shocked, and this is not a flex and not a brag. We still haven't seen a final form of this team. Tyler Hero will be back this week. Then we can kind of see what this team is going to evolve to. But
Mediocrity.
as a lifelong Miami Heat fan, for them to be leading the NBA in points per game still blows my mind. I can't even if Norman Powell is out, Tyler's out, Bam's out, they're still scoring at this high clip, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like unreal,
right? Because it doesn't translate to wins. What the fuck, Cam?
But what are you talking about? We're fourth in the East right now. Hold on. We're first in points, first in field goals, first in assists, first in pace, third in bench scoring, third in defensive rebounds, which I know me and you had an exchange about that the other night. And they're still top five in defense. You're right. Forgive me. I'm going to throw this to Mike first. What the fuck is going on in Miami, bro?
Y'all are gelling well. What can I say? When it's on a move, it's on a move. It speaks a lot when you have the highest average points per game. Because if you're sitting there, we've seen it before. We've seen it when, for like what I would compare it to, is almost like the running gun Phoenix Suns, right? 7 seconds or less. Mike D'Antoni's team, they're sitting there throwing up points. They had I'm not gonna say that Miami doesn't have defense, because they do have defense, more defense than what Phoenix had, but it did show back then, when you score that many points, you can make up for probably a little bit of a lackadaisical defense, so to say. So you're throwing up 130 plus, then that's pretty damn good. So it speaks not only to how the team is playing well in general, but also to the efficiency. When you're scoring that many points with the amount of possessions that go through each of these games, it's pretty damn inspiring, if you will, because you've got to be fairly efficient to score over 130 a game. So, all I can say is I'm looking forward to seeing a Miami-Detroit type of matchup, because when you get y'all's team going, running as fast as it is, and we've got ours going, I think that game is going to make for a really, really good one.
I think it's coming within the next week or so.
They better hope they playing in Miami, because their road record is garbage can. I watched a lot of Heat games this season as well.
Hey, wow.
That shit ain't all. This record in this point.
I'm going to ask you, Cam, then.
That shit is trash, bro.
Since both of y'all have seen the Heat a lot, it's not like you guys have a bad record. You guys have a decent record, but if you're that top of the offense, and your defense, you said, was what, 5th in the league so far? What are you seeing that has cost you some of these games? Then?
Rebounding,
and then playing down to their opponent's level. We did have a couple of bad losses, to where I guess they thought they were just going to walk on the court and win, and they didn't. So that's what I would say is going on right now. But knowing the expectations that I had coming into the season, which was nothing really, for them to be number 4 right now, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Do you think Hero can come in and just gel with everybody?
No, there's going to be.
He's going to be a problem.
There's going to be an adjustment. I'll say that. like I said, we haven't seen the final form yet. We just haven't. Even Wiggins is out right now. Wiggins has been playing damn good ball. We have 8 players right now averaging in double figures each night. Like it is ridiculous what's going on in Miami right now from an offensive standpoint because we just don't play that way. I'm speechless, man.
I know Norman Powell has to be happy about being over there instead of that train that is the other LA team.
Yeah, Powell's amazing. Yeah.
You think
I find it
sustainable through the postseason? You think there'll be this same sort of team in late February, early March with this
5 years ago? No. This season, yes, because the whole league has changed. Like I said, the offensive pace is up for every team. Even the Magic, they're up and running now as well. So it's just like the whole league's running now, pretty much. So yeah,
I think injuries will play a role in the long term style of play for these.
You will hope so.
Running gun.
You
if it's not managed well.
I think it's. I mean, that's how it is every season. Injuries play a role in how teams perform later in the season. This early, like run and gun style, we'll see.
So here's the secret sauce to that. The secret sauce to that is we're first in bench points too. So we're showing how deep we are. Bam missed 6 games. Tyler hasn't even played this year. Norman missed about 3 games, and we're still averaging the most points in the league. So that shows how deep the team is and how the others are playing right now. Mike, thank you for giving me the Italian guy. He's great, by the way.
Well, it's a thank you for giving us Duncan Robinson. I'm cool with that. It's been working out pretty well for us. So
that's fine.
Can I make a quick point regarding the Heat though? Like,
go ahead.
I'm looking at the actual schedule, like the teams y'all beat, won, lost, whatever. No, y'all losses are against outside, and this is no diss to Bryce because they are playoff contenders so far, but the other losses are all top 4 teams. So and they gave them a ride. And when you're looking at like one of the teams being the Knicks, like the Knicks themselves, you guys are 2-1 against them.
Yeah, we got them
right. Exactly. And then like y'all lost to Cleveland, but y'all beat them the game before. So it's not like if you put these teams when it comes into a playoff scenario where you're playing multiple times, a 7-game series with any of these teams really could end up going to Miami if they continue playing this way.
What about that road away record? Let's talk about that.
Hold on.
Y'all 3-5 on the road. Yeah.
What happens when you get what happens in a situation when they get home court advantage if they did?
Right now,
that's not gonna tell up until the playoff scenarios.
To be honest, I never count out a Spoelstra led team or coach team. I don't care what spot they are because they've made a run from the play-in before.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look at the Lakers' road record right now. Tell me how you like that.
Real quick.
Hey, look at the Pistons' road record. How do you like that?
Ooh, you see that?
I saw it 72. Detroit.
Away games are very important. You can win at home. That's fine.
I want to say this
on the road
before I go to Bryce. I want to say this. That second Cleveland loss, it was a back-to-back, right?
Yeah.
That second Cleveland loss, I think that loss is going to come back and hurt us in standings because there's no way Miami should have laid down for that game because, again, Cleveland rested their stars too. I was so pissed that fucking game. We beat them the first game with everybody.
By 2.
Then Cleveland rested it. I'm just like, and then we lost that game, so that was bullshit. Bryce, all right, 10-7. Not bad. 1 game behind the Heat. What you seen so far that you like with the Magic?
That they seem to have come out of the rut that they started in. They started 1-5, or 1-4, something like that. They lost like 4 in a row right after the win against the Heat to start the season, and it seemed like a lot of things were in disarray. They were still figuring a lot of things out. They wanted the idea was to play with pace, and I think what they figured out is they had to learn to play with pace at the right times. And now they have become one of the, it's not the best team in transition on offense. So they're starting to run more, or they're starting to tone down when they run, and it's starting to become more efficient, and it's starting to work out better for them. Bain started the season off pretty rough outside of the very first game against the Heat. The whole team just looked off for about 4 or 5 games, and since then they've gotten back to their calling card, which was defense. And so they still have some of the same issues. Uh, they're hitting more efficient threes, but they're still not getting up a ton, which I don't think they're ever going to do. I think they're kind of going to keep their 3-point shooting close to where their opponents are, and that might change game to game. But since that rough start, their defense is up, and their offense, since they have slowed it down and they're only running out in transition, they're using their size to do that pretty well. So since that rough start, they've really turned the ship around. I think they're like 6 of their last 7. They've won like in their last like 11 games, they're 8-3. There's some good wins in there. There's some bad wins in there. I mean, against teams that are pretty bad, but they've beaten the Knicks twice. Once in New York, once at home. They have a couple of good wins in there, and the way they're looking, the vibe of the team, the way they're moving the ball around, it is like, I know maybe outside of Pat hate watching, nobody watches the Magic as much as me, and the vibes and the style of watching them in the first 5 games compared to now is literally, it feels like a different team. And that's even without, we started turning the ship around before Paolo got hurt. So I don't think we're doing this in spite of Paolo. I do think the ball moves a little freer without him sometimes. However, I do think once he's in rhythm, he's been racking up assists. It's not like the ball is sticking with him. So I think, honestly, the adjustment in the style of play of making sure they're moving the ball, I think affects Paolo a little bit more than it does some of the other guys. And now that Suggs is coming off the minutes restrictions, he's playing more. He's really knocking down shots and 3-pointers at a good clip, and he's helping space the floor along with Bane. So now that Suggs is back in the lineup more, Bane's finally settling into playing closer to what he was doing in Memphis. The team on offense is starting to really gel, and if you look at like the last 10 games, basically since that rough start, the defense and the offense have both taken a leap. And in the last couple of weeks, mainly driven by our defense, the team's looking really good, and we've already made up. I mean, the schedule or the standings are so tight to start. It's like, it's hard to say. In 2 weeks, it probably going to look a lot different. But the Magic, since their upstart, have really been climbing and getting some wins back. So luckily, they figured it out as quickly as they did, because now they're starting to feel like the Magic that I think everybody was expecting, and that's even without Paolo back. That's Doug's missing second nights of back-to-backs and still being, they haven't completely stretched out his minutes. He's still right under 30 minutes a game, and so good signs to come that we're getting Paolo back soonish, hopefully in the next like week or so. It was just a strain, a growing strain. It wasn't a tear or nothing. So, but the fact that the team's playing so good even without him right now is a good sign. So excited for where the Magic are going after that pretty rough start.
Pat,
I agree with B. Rice's analysis of the Portland Tragic.
I didn't lie.
I know you. Yeah, I've been watching them close. I mean, like a fucking hawk, because I want them to lose. Okay.
The moment they lose, I get a fucking text message, some cartoon shit laughing at me or something.
B. Rice, my new favorite hater. I love you, B. Rice. But yeah, your analysis of your team is very accurate. With their 1-5 start, I was having a field day, but since then they have been playing exactly how you have mentioned. Their offense looks really good. Their defense looks good. They cause a lot of turnovers. Your backcourt is pretty decent. They can shoot. They can score the ball. Franz Wagner is a playmaker. I like your centers. They play great. They play good defense. They rebound.
Hey,
They
people talk shit about Wendell Carter because he doesn't play above the rim and get blocks, but he is one of the best defending centers in the league, I think.
absolutely. He's very strong.
Mm.
You saw your boy Hamed, whatever, the one that destroyed the Heat the other day. No, was it him? Well, anyway, he tried to run through that pick. But boy dropped like 30 points or something on some team. Was it the Heat?
No, it wasn't the Heat. No.
Oh, okay. I forgot. But anyway,
Yeah, he ran into a shoulder last night, got hurt.
Yeah, my boy, he ran into a brick wall. I was like, yo. And he got the foul called on him. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, your team they're looking good, man, without their star player in Paolo Banchero, who's a 11-6-1 superstar in this league.
Hey, one bad stat line. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yes, I've been following your team very closely because I hate them, and I need to find something to talk shit in the group chat to you about. But I've been kind of quiet here lately these last few weeks because y'all have definitely improved in how you play the winning.
I see you taking shots at the Heat too. I know it's not all me. I see the shots at the Heat, and I enjoy those when I can.
Yeah. I've been watching everybody's team in this podcast. I watch every fucking game. Okay, but I had nothing to say about the Pistons because they've been winning. But the Heat and the Magic, they gave me a little fuel in these few weeks. But y'all are doing pretty good.
I see you in a couple of weeks too, I think, actually. Mike, what are your thoughts on the Orlando Magic, if any?
Well, I mean, I've been low-key kind of waiting for this type of showing. I think I was saying last year when we were talking about the playoffs, when we were doing playoff previews and whatnot, I was looking forward to a possible matchup, which would have been the second round with the Pistons and Magic. Unfortunately, I think. Bryce, did you guys win your first round last year?
No, we played Boston with no tugs. We were dead in the water.
We both were out. I mean, we lost to the Knicks, so it came up short. But I've been kind of big on Orlando over the past year or so with the team that they've been putting together. So I mean, watching Franz play through college, I mean, it was, in my opinion, he was going to be a star regardless. He was great at Michigan. Pairing him with Paolo Banchero and Jalen Suggs, like they just put the right pieces together into the right spots, and it was just a matter of them starting to gel together a little bit. And I find it kind of funny though, like their most recent win streak is coming without Paolo, so I'm wondering how that's going to affect when he does come back. Is it going to kind of change any pace or anything like that?
They were already changing. They were already kind of trending back in the direction that it's been positive for them. They were already doing that before Paolo got hurt. So if there's a transition, it'll come from maybe Paolo got to spend a couple of days getting back in game shape or something like that. I'm hoping there's not a big gap in terms of like what they were doing when Paolo was on the court compared to what they're doing now. If anything, they just might run just a little bit more, but they were already they were having too many turnovers for the sake of running just a run. And so they had already cut that back a lot to where it was kind of like just when they get turnovers or they see a gap in the defense, like from the inbounds pass, they kind of slowed a lot of that down. That I think was kind of hurting Paolo early on. But I don't think they're winning in spite of Paolo because, like I said, they were already kind of turning this thing around before that. But we played you guys early on in the season, and you guys were already, you hit the ground running. You kind of ran all over us. I'm excited to see because we got Detroit coming up this next week. I'm excited to see even without Paolo, the vibes and the defense on this team is so different now. I'm excited. Even if we lose to Detroit again, I'd like to see how that game goes because it should be more competitive.
Look, I need Paolo to come back like ASAP, bro. I mean, my fantasy team has been pretty damn healthy all year, outside of a couple games missed here and there, and Anthony Edwards being out with a hamstring at one point. But I need Paolo to come back. Like I need that man to make my team.
He should be back any game now, the next week or so, hopefully.
I get you next week.
This is the first time on this show that we've talked about the Magic where I wasn't extremely bored. I think we've been talking about.
You're watching them. You're starting to realize just how good they're going to be.
It's okay. It's okay, Pat. You're a little late to the party because we talked about this earlier in the season. But welcome to the party. We're all here.
Yeah, that shit was trash can. I was bored as hell. But I want y'all to put this much effort into watching my Lakers. I know you guys don't stay up late, but at least catch some highlights so we can have a good.
That's what I got to do.
I'm on the West Coast. I get to watch them all the time.
Next time we talk about the Lakers, I want y'all to contribute more instead of just about how great they are. Okay.
I know we're running short on time, but I really want to ask everybody this last question. I'm going to start with you, Bryce. Every week that I've seen that the ratings are up, I'm shocked because the game has been played the same like the last 3 years. So it's like,
thank you.
It's like mind-boggling to me that all of a sudden we're having the highest ratings in 10 to 15 years.
But Cam,
Star's injured.
Why though? Because we talked about this last.
I don't know.
The viewership has always been the same. It's just the way they measure the viewership, and that's what I think is the difference.
Okay. Bryce, what do you think?
I think it's up a little bit just because there's been more news drama around the NBA, as well as I think there's a lot of people that were excited about the changes in the TV distribution. I think there are guys who are excited about it coming back to NBC. I can't speak to the size difference, compared to the viewership that they've had the last few years compared to what it is now. Like I know they're saying it's up. I would say some of it is like what Pat's saying, where they're just measuring it more effectively now. However, it would blow me away that they weren't taking some of those numbers previously for the sake of making it sound better, because for like the public, you would think the NBA would fight the idea that viewership was down, so that they would take as many stats as they could the last few years to show otherwise. So I don't know how much of it is one thing or another. I do feel like there was a certain level of excitement coming into this season already, and I don't know if it's because of where my team was at or just the excitement with new young players and where the league's going for me. I'm not sure how it is compared to other fans, but there was a certain level of hype from the TV distribution to the teams. There was a level of hype going into this season for me personally, and I felt that with a lot of people I communicate with around the league, like you guys, seeing stuff online. I just felt like there was more excitement this year surrounding the league coming back than in previous seasons. And I'm not sure quite what it is, if it's one thing or another. It seems like it's a collective of things. So I guess that would be my take. It's not one thing. It's a bunch of different things showing the numbers are up.
Mike?
I think it's based on access, I guess, like the TV distribution, because you're getting a lot of games specifically, let's say on Peacock right now. The NBC has the NBA on NBC and whatnot. When we had last year and the years before, you would normally have to buy league pass for seeing a lot of these teams and a lot of these games, and that can be quite expensive. So to have Peacock at like, what is it, $7.99 for their lowest package, to be able to watch like multiple, like there's 2 games every Tuesday night, you know what I'm saying? So there's more access on a cheaper level, even though it's on more streaming services, including Prime on Friday nights and whatnot. But I feel like those options are a lot less expensive than ordering the whole league pass. And so
it's about the same. It's actually more expensive if you have Peacock, Prime, ESPN combined versus the League Pass. League Pass is like $10 a month if you stretch it out over.
Well, per team, right? Because the whole league pass itself is fairly expensive at the beginning of the year, right? It's like $300.
It's like $100.
No, they slashed the price a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So it's about $100. And also, just to piggyback on what you said, Mike, the games on Peacock are also simulcast on NBC, so you don't even need a subscription. So I think that's giving them a boost as well.
Well, not all the games, because there are times that I only get out here. I only get one out of the two.
Forgive me, okay.
Right. So in that sense, like if you have Peacock, then yeah, you can watch all of them. And I feel like a lot of people have already done that, being that it was an NBC network app. So I think that, this is just them. It's their normal, average monthly payment for Peacock. They just get access to more NBA now because it's on Peacock and NBC. So I don't know, like you don't even need to have Prime because there's only 2 games on Prime. Is it 2 games on Prime on Friday night?
I think so. I don't remember.
It's not much, but you ESPN, you're watching cable and having the apps. Like it's just really, like, for me, I'm just looking at it from the consumer perspective and thinking that the access, no matter what is being paid, without having an extra cost, like let's say League Pass. I don't know. I think that's just that's the way that consumerism goes in this country. It's like you feel like it's a deal when really it's probably not, just because you've been paying it for a minute. So the access, I think, specifically to NBC and Peacock is what's probably happening a lot more than anything else, giving the credit to specifically that, along with the hype. We have a lot of parity in this league this year. A lot of parity. I know Pat said that the Pistons they haven't beat anybody, but we've actually beat a couple teams. So, like, the Rockets were earlier in the year. That was a good game, and we ended up beating them. The league, like I said, the league parity is going across the board, where there isn't, outside of a 12-game win streak from the Pistons and 16 wins out of the Thunder, you're getting to teams that are there's multiple teams in double digits. There's some that are really tanking hard, like let's say Indiana and Washington, 3 wins between both of them. They're just getting beat up all around. But at the top of the league, between both conferences, you've got a lot of teams that are supported by a lot of people. So at that point, when your teams are winning, you're going to get viewership. Period. You're going to get support.
I don't know about that. Pistons are winning. Ain't nobody watching them games, bro. Even OKC, anybody watching OKC games?
Oh, I bet OKC is watched a lot
watching OKC.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody watching that shit.
They're only considered small market because Oklahoma City is a small market itself.
It's a global game. My finger's on the pulse of the NBA. Ain't nobody talking about OKC or Detroit. They're talking about the Lakers, Knicks. They talking about the Rockets.
No, they talking about OKC.
And
the casuals are talking about those teams. The casuals.
When was the last time Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played a fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's been a while.
They ain't even talking about Joker. Joker is averaging a fucking triple-double. But nobody gives a fuck because
OKC is up there killing everybody.
No, because he plays in Denver. Nobody gives a fuck.
I'll say this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. I promise. I know we gotta go. I think what it is, and I don't care who disagrees, anyone here or anyone worldwide. I don't give a fuck. Y'all know that. But I think part of the reasons why the ratings is up is because that NBA Finals we came off of between OKC and Indiana. You had 2 small market teams going at it. It went 7 games. It was absolutely great basketball, and I think that has transitioned into this season. So I think that's one of the reasons why the ratings are up this year, because no one wanted that finals to begin with. But once everybody sat down and watched what was going on, it was one of the greatest NBA finals we've seen in a long time with the quality of basketball that was played. So I think that's what it is, and that goes back to what Mike said as far as parity. OKC, they just got to do it again. Then I'll give them credit. They got to do it again.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The ratings have not changed. It's the way they measured it. How you go from extreme lows to extreme highs in one season?
Lack of LeBron.
Tell me that.
Maybe.
Tell me that.
Lack of LeBron.
Tell me
LeBron's
that.
not down our throats every night.
It
I must use
happens.
our thinking
People
caps.
go through lulls.
Yeah.
Now they're back.
It could have been LeBron fatigue. That might be part of it. Yeah.
No,
So,
sir.
on that note, we're going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Hardwood Nation podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share our content. Drop comments below. We always respond. Everyone stay safe, and we are out. Look, he was fucking with the pinstripes.
You got T-Mac jerseys sitting somewhere.